For U.S. senators, today was the first full day back in Washington after the killing of Alex Preddy and ahead of their Friday deadline to fund the Department of Homeland Security and some of the government's other large agencies. They arrived as news is still unfolding on the Preddy shooting and as another lawmaker faced a new threat. Our congressional correspondent Lisa Desjardins joins me now for more on all of this. So, Lisa, we have been covering the outrage after the Preddy shooting, the sense that something shifted. As you talk to senators, are you sensing a shift in how they're viewing the immigration crackdown?
We did. We've been watching that carefully. And today, I have to tell you, we heard from Republicans a new kind of very open sense that federal enforcement officers went too far in a dangerous way. Now, some of them word this carefully, but more we are seeing Republicans say this sharply. That includes Homeland Security Chairman Rand Paul.
But we can't just say, oh, nothing to see here, and he was obviously an assassin and a domestic terrorist. When we say things like that, it leads to no confidence in, so I think there really has to be an independent investigation, and this is going to be an investigation outside of DHS. They should themselves immediately appoint a commission. If they don't, I think Congress may.
So there we go, a commission potentially. Now, Rand Paul is known to break with President Trump, but I heard this kind of idea concern from more Republicans who don't usually do that. Of course, for Democrats, it's more than just concern. An example is this from Senator Cory Booker of New Jersey.
This agency's out of control. Its leadership is out of control. Its leadership should step down, if not be impeached. So we are in a serious crisis right now.
And there are calls to impeach Kristi Noem. We're going to be talking more about that in coming days. But I want to also point out one other group of Republicans. These are Republicans who say, even as they express some concern about ICE, that they think protesters are being too aggressive. One example of that is Florida's Rick Scott.
You have a right to protest in this country, but you don't have a right to interfere with law enforcement. So don't be stupid. Don't interfere with law enforcement. We all are going to have to work together to get the criminals out of our country. Local law enforcement should be working hand in glove with ICE right now.
One other standout note, Republican leader John Thune told reporters he thinks this is, in fact, potentially an inflection moment.
So when it comes to leaders who have concerns about the tactics of federal agents, especially Democrats, what are they going to do about ICE, and what does this mean for the chance of a potential shutdown?
Those are intertwined questions, and let's start with Democrats. Many people have been wondering. Senator Schumer today told reporters what Democrats want to fund DHS. There are three things that he listed today. First, that they would end roving raids, enforce code of conduct and hold agents accountable for harming people, and also that there would be no more masking, that they would require body cams and IDs on all officers. But the problem is the DHS funding bill, of course, already passed the House along with all these other funding bills. So to change it now would cost that partial shutdown. The White House says if Democrats demand a legislative fix, there will be a shutdown. And that's the point we're at right now. One difference, though, is people seem to want a solution, but honestly, they're just far apart on how to get there.
So let's leave Washington for just a moment and talk about this climate of political violence. I know you spend a lot of time covering another attack on a member of Congress. This time it was Democrat Ilhan Omar last night. Bring us up to speed.
Viewers may know Omar represents Minneapolis. She herself is a Somali immigrant. She also is someone who has really received the most vitriolic rhetoric from President Trump while he's been in office. She was speaking at a town hall in Minneapolis last night when a man ran toward her. He squirted a syringe with an unidentified liquid, and a reporter said there was a vinegar smell afterward. Police have arrested a man who the Associated Press said supported Trump online and also called Democrats liars. As for Omar, she kept going at that town hall, and she posted some defiance on social media, writing that this small agitator isn't going to intimidate me from doing my work. I don't let bullies win. But President Trump was asked about this. He told ABC that he didn't watch the video, but he called Omar a fraud. He gaslit her, saying she probably had herself sprayed. Now, we raise that because that's a message, even if it is a joke, that is part of this climate of intimidation.
Meanwhile, we know there's some new information about the level of threats against lawmakers. What should we understand about that?
Capitol Police came out with some eye-popping statistics over the number of threats they've been tracking. Let's take a look at this. This came out just last night. Look at this. These are the number of threats that Capitol Police have investigated in the last few years, and you see that spike week. That is last year, 14,000 plus threats against members of Congress investigated. Amna, that's more than a 50% increase from the year before. So they do have more funding for security, but I can tell you personally, lawmakers are feeling this, some of them having to move their residence, taking careful plans with family vacations. This is a real climate of political violence and threat.
Lisa Desjardins, thank you as always.
Welcome.
Support journalism you trust. Support PBS News. Donate now, or even better, start a monthly contribution today.